Welcome ladies and gentlemen to the grand finals for the Road to Redbull Wololo Legacy August weeklies, and we have got in the south corner of the map Vortix playing in red as the Holy Roman Empire, and in the north Puppypaw playing in blue as the Mongols. The map is Kawasan. If you guys haven't seen this map, it's fantastic. It has its origins from Age of Empires 2, and as you can see they've got these central ponds, one on either side of the map with the deep water fish. So this can be incredibly useful to gather the fishing. Well, basically just fishing here in general on this map is incredibly strong to have that food economy. Now we've seen Mongols being played a lot on this map, and it could be because of the early aggression, but the Holy Roman Empire, I haven't seen all that much on Kawasan up to now, so it'd be super interesting to see how this one plays out with Vortix going for the Holy Roman Empire. Now of course with the Holy Roman Empire they've got a fantastic economy, got the prelate inspiring these villagers, making them gather 40% faster. So it'd be impressive the amount of wood that you'd be able to get, and maybe having an early dock on the center ponds. The Mongols, since the new patch, do have the Gerb, which is a fantastic boost for their Dark Age. It means they can gather resources super fast. Interesting placement for the Gerb, to be honest. I mean, it's a bit of a strange one. On the deer, not typical, usually. Oh, well, I guess it kind of makes sense here, because look at the spawn. Puppypaw has his primary TC alongside the woodline and the gold, so that is fantastic spawning for him. He's got the berries nearby as well. I suspect he probably won't rely on that too much. He could potentially take the deer, but of course he'll want to have this deep water fish. That is the fastest source of food in the game of Age of Empires 4. And so Vortix himself is looking to do exactly just that, to gather that fast resource by getting a dock up. The Khan will spot the villager though, and so Vortix has shown his hand somewhat. Puppypaw will be aware of that, and we see the spearmen coming out. So this is one thing about the Mongols. They could double produce using the Ovu and the barracks, and they've got the two spearmen out, but you know, the Holy Roman Empire do get the barracks themselves in the Dark Age and can produce the spearmen themselves. So Vortix has committed to that. It will mean he needed to spend a little bit more resources in order to do so, and the Khan being incredibly annoying there for Vortix. Quite low HP on that spearman. The dock will go up, and that is a key issue, and I suspect Vortix might want to consider getting a an outpost there to protect that position. Oh, the dock doesn't go up yet. The villager gets pulled back. He knows he probably won't be able to complete it if the villager stayed there, but it goes at a second stab at it. Couple of hammers on that dock, and the dock goes up, and the prelate being brought out. So this is fantastic play. Same principles when you go against the Mongols outpost rush. You want the prelate. I suspect maybe Vortix may even made a second prelate. We'll need to see. It doesn't appear so. He might be queuing one up later, or he just can't actually. He doesn't have the gold for it. That's a bit of key and issue. Like, this is good aggression by Puppypaw. It forced the prelate out of the primary base, and it means that these villagers weren't being buffed for quite a period of time. Quite a few spearmen here for Vortix. He is not happy with the aggression. He does not want to fall prey to the Mongols' pressure early on. But in fact, he is the one who's going to go ahead and be aggressive now with the spear. Maybe even scout the dock out for Puppypaw. It might be Puppypaw's dock that's at risk here if he's not careful. Now behind this, quite a few villagers on gold. We often see this. Puppypaw looking to maybe get a fast castle out of this. But the issue for him is that he does have quite a few spearmen on his doorstep. There are two scouts there. They won't want to get too close because of the spearmen, of course. And but they will be able to do some torch damage. There's going to be a bit of dancing around here. Now this does make it into a bit of an APM game. Who can manage both the economy and the aggression at the same time? That will tell us who's the better player today on Kawasan. As you can see, the dock is up and running now for Vortix. 2 fishing ships, 3 fishing ships for the Mongols. Plenty villagers on food. Now we talked about fast castle and Puppypaw's build for the Mongols. He just was trying to rush up the feudal age really, but we shall see. Speaking of fast castle, we shall see if he decides something like that. It would be pretty surprising if he does, because often we do see a lot of feudal aggression, but if there is one civilization that does fast castle and does it really well, well, it is the Holy Roman Empire. And it might be in the case for Puppypaw's Mongols actually that he will want to put some feudal aggression to try and deny that fast age up for the Holy Roman Empire. The spears do get a torch damage on the dock, and yep, this is going to be an issue because Puppypaw can't really engage in this until he's sure that he can win the fight. Does have the numbers advantage almost, but especially with, I mean, the thing is, it's difficult to call because to call because 8 versus 7 Vortix does have the numbers, but maybe a little bit lower on HP now. I think he's actually doing well here. He's continuing to produce a spearman as well, so that is a key bit of detail here. The dock position at threat here. Puppypaw pulling in the villagers. Does he have textiles? He doesn't have textiles yet, but he's going to pull the villagers nevertheless. And the spears engage with the spears. Villagers getting involved in the fight, and Puppypaw desperate to keep the dock up. He recognizes how important and key this is. The Feudal Age has come in for Puppypaw, so if he can get some military in the field, that would help him. The villagers get pulled back, and I don't know, the spearman of Vortix might head back and do some more damage. The scout stays alive at 6 HP. That is significant, because this will stay alive and regenerate the health. The back of this, Vortix is only going up to the Feudal Age now. He's committed very hard into the Dark Age. Didn't manage to take out the dock though. Now, Vortix does have to head back home because these are hardened spearmen versus the regular spearmen. As you can see, the hardened spearmen will have extra health, 70 on the regular ones, 90 on the hardened spearmen. Vortix really rushing up that Ark and Chapel with 11 villagers. We'll look to get that prelate garrison inside. Now, looking at the inspiration, oh, this is not quite optimal. He might have just been better to have deleted that lumber camp, because unfortunately this Ark and Chapel doesn't cover this wood line. I mean, it does partially, possibly when they come to deposit, if they come on this side of the wood, the lumber camp. He might need to actually switch to this side. We'll see. And now we see Vortix docking his opponent's pond. He will be able to get some galleys out. Galleys are incredibly strong at killing fishing ships, that is for sure. Spearmen, we can try and take out the dock here for Vortix. That's the key issue. Puppypaw recognizing he has a window of opportunity here, because these are hardened spearmen versus regular spearmen. Vortix does pick off one spearman, but he's going to engage. Well, it's now hardened spearman versus hardened spearman. That upgrade is actually really quickly come in for Vortix. He keeps his dock, and don't forget, if he can increase the influence of his town center, he will be able to actually use emergency repairs. Obviously, it's a long way away, a long distance between the dock and the primary town center. That might be something to consider. But now the enemy has docked, and we've got the light junk coming out for Puppypaw, but that will be no match for the galleys that are popping out. The Holy Roman Empire, actually a very interesting pick, an incredibly strong civilization actually on hybrid maps. We've seen them played out on Four Lakes often, and we're seeing it today on Kawasan. Scout did lose his life there, I'm afraid. But with the galley about to pop out, these two light junks probably won't be able to do too much damage. There is that galley. Let's see. It's just not even a contest here. And really, Puppypaw needs to do some damage on the dock. That's his main window of opportunity to kind of slow down the Holy Roman Empire. Takes a fight there, a very good fight. Puppypaw actually wins that fight quite significantly, and that might snowball. Behind this, Puppypaw might be able to do some damage, but there is a galley now on this dock, and this is actually very significant, because Puppypaw tried to dock, and he's got two docks. He's actually really challenging on the waters, but the galley can do a lot of damage on the land unit, so he won't be able to take out the dock, though. And now that he's got the galley, that would be significant. Galley going here on the other side, on the left side as well. Going to be taking out a couple of fishing ships quite quickly, as you can see. Puppypaw not reacting quick enough. But two light junks aren't going to be enough. Doesn't feel like it anyway. Does he have a blacksmith? The blacksmith upgrades will affect those galleys. Got plenty of villagers on gold. I suspect Vortix trying to maybe head up to the castle age himself. 11 villagers on gold. Rather big commitment to gold there. Fishing ships here under pressure. Galley does get in position though. And he should be able to hold this off. The food economy is a bit disrupted here for Vortix, but Puppypaw is going to lose everything here. The two light junks do engage. I don't know. Vortix, if he can micro down this other one first, that would be ideal, but he's not going to be able to either way. He should be able to win this fight. As you can see, these guys are being absolutely tickled. Mongol is absolutely useless in water compared to the Holy Roman Empire. And now Vortix securing his pond. He's going to have double pond. This is going to be a tough ask for Puppypaw. He is going to struggle in this first game on Kawasan, especially without having any access to fish, and Vortix having double ponds. Also got quite a lot of army back at home, so it's nice, safe and secure. Puppypaw needs to do some damage now. The one thing that Puppypaw has done quite nicely, he's got those archers involved. Vortix is going to struggle to deal with that. He hasn't got any counter units, hasn't got any horsemen or archers of his own. And whilst he will win the pond, he's going to struggle on land. He'll certainly win the pond. The two ponds, but he's going to struggle on land because of the archers and behind. Spearmen do need to head back. Villagers off of wood need to migrate to the right side now. And this is looking precarious for Vortix. He's actually missed an opportunity here. Got the eco lead, that is for sure, but he needs to develop a military presence on the land. He needs to get rid of those archers. He needs a way to counter those archers, because Spearman on his own not going to be of use. Looks like he's dropping two archer rangers. He needs to do so. Going horseman is a bit tricky. It's difficult to micro against the spears. And so I feel like Vortix doing great play here. Getting the double archer range. Got still quite a lot of villagers on the wood. He's got the prelate there inspiring as well. Actually, it's just the Ark and Chapel doing their thing. The spearmen do head round. They'll see that happening, and now Puppypaw might need to do some damage. We'll get some raiding bonus from taking down the mining camp. And it looks like Vortix is going to struggle to get up to the castle age, especially without the gold. Villagers being pulled on the right side. Villagers might be looking to outpost, possibly. We need to keep an eye on that as time goes on. But Vortix with 2 archers of his own now. That'll be key. Very, very important to keep those archers pumping out here for Vortix. This is the only way to stay in this game on the land, that is for sure. Army now starting through the right, so going to take care of this barracks. The man-at-arms actually could be quite useful here. Oh, we forgot about that for the Holy Roman Empire, but he's struggling on the gold. That is one key issue. I suspect he didn't really want to spend too much of his gold, because of course he's won against the castle age. The gold gets spotted out here on the right side. We'll be able to take the fight. Should be able to take care of the spearmen. But it does alert Puppypaw to the presence of the gold villagers on the right side. I suspect outposts might need to go up here. That was only safe gold, really, to be honest. And I wonder whether Vortix is struggling here, because he's got fishing ships, and he probably won't want to overcommit to the waters just yet. He needs the army presence on the land, and he's going to have to pull those villagers back again. A lot of idle time being caused here. 43 villagers for Vortix, 36 for Puppypaw, but Puppypaw obviously hasn't had that much idle time. And part of the village account will be the fishing ships, that is for sure. Emergency repairs going there for Holy Roman Empire. It's very difficult to push the Holy Roman Empire because of that, because of the emergency repairs, and I suspect that'd be pretty frustrating for Puppypaw, trying to put some pressure on that barracks. Wasn't able to take it down. Looks like he's trying to go back on the gold gear again, but the west side is going to be under pressure. Should be able to take a decent fight though, with archers and some man-at-arms. But they're just heading out on the west side. We've got plenty of food. You can see Puppypaw really committing. He's going to be up to the castle age very soon. Going up with a step redoubt, kind of expected. If you are not aware of Age of Empires 4 and you're here casually, first of all, thanks for watching. I hope you're all enjoying the casted games I'm putting out there on YouTube. But let's take a look at the step redoubt, because it's a very powerful landmark for the Mongols. It increases the gold amount drop off by 50%. So, I mean, just take a look. That's a lot of villages. 18. Add another 9 because of the bonus that they get. I think there's going to be a bit of a redistribution there. I don't think it's going to have 18 villages on the gold. We shall see. Dock is slowly being taken down by the galleys. And Vortix does have access now to the gold. Has an outpost there. Archers heading forward. Puppypaw having to head back. He won't mind too much. He is on the castle age. Maybe looking to get a prayer tent. Getting a market, actually, for some recalibration of his economy. Vortix trying to chase that down, try and get as much value as he can. This is quite significant because actually Puppypaw might actually keep a lot of villagers on gold, because he might be committing to the waters again. They'll still have 1 dock alive. Gonna get a demo ship, yeah. He's got 2 docks actually. The galleys take a long time to take care of the docks. And this is an issue because demo ships and a war junk, that's going to actually be able to win the fight again on the waters. Vortix does reach the castle age though, so he'll want to get some fishing or armoured military navy of himself. But he's going to struggle to get there. The economy not looking as slick for Vortix as it is for Puppypaw. It's got plenty of food because of the fishing ships. That will certainly help. I suspect maybe a market would be really useful here for Vortix to be able to recalibrate the economy. Heading around the right side, the man-at-arms. Be able to take a decent fight there. You see a demo ship. I'm not sure what demo ship happened, what happened to it, but anyway, there is that war junk coming out. It's going to do a lot of damage to his galleys. Not enough of these galleys here, to be honest. Only 3. I mean, this war junk is being repaired. A couple of galleys here just surrounding on the left side. Does have 2 fishing ships on the left pond. The fishing economy won't be removed entirely, but now there are 2 war jugs. This is looking bad for Vortix on this pond on the right side. You see that castle age uptime, hugely significant. And not being able to take out those docks. I feel like Vortix, if he had managed to take out those docks somehow, that would have been very, very, very clutch play. But instead, we now see Puppypaw in the castle age. Has that market to recalibrate his economy as needed. And this pond on the right side is all but gone. It means that Puppypaw can reinvest in fishing ships. So we see this back and forth. This is why we like Kawasan. It's such a fantastic map. Fantastic game so far. Vortix, 1,600 food. Not being able to make the gold income boost as quickly, and maybe looking to get some land units, maybe wanting to get a prelate here, because you might want to inspire these villages. There are 12 of them. And the Arcane Chapel not being very useful for Vortix at the moment. Khan has been taken down. Vortix was looking to try and pick up a relic, doesn't manage it. And I wonder whether the Mongols will invest in a prayer tent. Doesn't look like it just at the moment. He's committing to the land. Now you can see Puppypaw is investing back into the waters. Rather surprisingly, he's not taking out the dock for his opponent. Maybe just heating up his war junks first. Vortix actually doubling down on the west pond now. They've kind of traded ponds. Relic does get deposited in the Regent's Cathedral. There is a man-at-arms there. You see the Mongols investing in heavy armoured units and extending his economy. Pocket economies onto the right side to the deer. Moving the step out on the left side, protecting the relics as well. Not actually investing in a prayer tent to get the relics himself, but overall so good for Puppypaw. He's actually been able to win quite a few micro battles, and we have to do a lot of damage on one man-at-arms there, idling a lot of the economy. We saw Vortix's villages being pulled from left to right to left to right. That is the power of the Mongols. A couple of knights now popping out. He's starting to stabilize. Wow, 4 war junks. Puppypaw definitely not interested in losing this pond again. 2 lancers are going to wrap around on the gold vein. The outpost does have a spring on place, which will certainly be helpful. Man-at-arms going to be bearing the brunt of the major attack, but 2 knights charge in as well. Should be a decent fight for the Holy Roman Empire. The villagers go back out to gold. A lot of stables. Holy smokes, 4 stables. Vortix is going heavy knight play. And who could blame him? Because looks like Puppypaw is going for knights and man-at-arms. I certainly would prefer the full knight play, but we shall see, because Vortix will need to be aware of the archery range can produce some crossbows, which will be the direct counter to those knights. Puppypaw doing a fantastic job of denying the relics. Relic will pick up a relic there. 2 knights on this lancer, and that's actually very significant. He needs to try and avoid the sacred site not to reveal that position. That will be a second relic coming in for the Holy Roman Empire. There is a prayer tent now on the field for Puppypaw. He'll need to pick up some of the remaining relics. We will not want the Holy Roman Empire to get all of the relics, that is for sure. 1 is already on the bank. And Blacksmith going down for those upgrades on the left side. We'll be taking out that Lancer. 3rd one gets picked up for the Holy Roman Empire. We're looking strong here for Vortix. Oh, this is actually a very clutch outpost. So this outpost means this offers a way for Puppypaw to get back onto this pond. The knights do wrap around on the right side, do get quite a bit of damage to the eco. Villager, at least 1, goes down. Puppypaw trying to protect this relics with 2 man-at-arms. I suspect that might be the target for Vortix next. Gets a relic in the outpost on the gold. Well, actually the gold's been taken now, so might need to switch that to another location. A knight does go on the outpost area here. Villagers to garrison inside. There is a spring on replacement. Vortix doing well to keep up with the emplacements. And we'll be able to lose 1. Oh, yeah, he does lose 1 more villager. There is now a relic in that outpost. You can see, guys, the relics in the outpost are incredibly strong. These guys boost the, well, stats generally. Armor increase, damage increase, sight range increase, weapon ranged increase, and gold generation continues. Down in the center, a couple of knights going to be denying those outposts in the center of the map. A lot of free food to be had here, berries. And this is often a very significant portion of the map to control. Prayer tent is up and running for Puppypaw. Hasn't been able to deposit any relics in just yet. Struggling to get hold of them. I believe there was a relic there. Not entirely sure where it's gone. Oh, there it is. Yep, 1 shaman. We'll be picking up 1 relic here, but Prelate might be taking this one. That's actually a very big deal, because that would mean it would be 4 relics to 1 if that gets deposited. And a couple of knights here in the center. It looks like Vortix taking the better fights here. And it's because of the mobility, because of the stable investment. It's not the man-at-arms. The man-at-arms are a bit slow here. And the knights are trying to deny that relic pickup, but it's too slow. There is a lancer trying to chase down that prelate. I'm not sure if he'll manage it. No, he's not going in the right direction. Warjack's getting involved in the fight. Ooh. And that knight perishes. This is quite interesting because these ponds, they offer a lot of navy support. As you can see, the Warjack, any military that even comes close, these Warjacks will take care of it. And that dock has now gone up. That outpost really facilitated that, and looks like Puppypaw is going to win the waters in the end. galleys were strong in the feudal age, but in the castle age, that's when the Mongols really came into power. And wow, this is a huge raid. Vortix diving in the woodline, but there's quite a few lancers there for Puppypaw, so we'll push that back. Vortix won't want to dive in too much, but does take a few villagers out with him. Puppypaw up to 52 economy, 62 for Vortix, 10 ahead. And Vortix look pretty strong, but I say 10 ahead, but don't forget there's an extra 10 villagers here just on the step redoubt because of the 50% bonus that brings. Then you have to consider the relics that the Holy Roman Empire have right now. That factors into it as well, so Vortix will be a bit ahead in the economy. As we look at the balance, it looks like well, both are relatively similar in terms of the balance of the economy. Now Vortix does lose a bit of time there on the gold, on the west side gold vein there. Slowly but surely, this first game of the set is an absolute banger here on Kawasan. You see Puppypaw getting the Sacred Site on the left side. Maybe the right side will be contested for Vortix. Now the Knights are doing great work here. Just feel, I don't know, every time we look at a fight, just seems like Vortix is winning them. But Puppypaw seems to have so much military on the land, and he does have some spearmen. This is actually rather dangerous for Puppypaw. Look at Vortix, keeping an eye on the gold veins. You see the awareness of these guys. The charge does come in. Vortix needs to head back. He's got quite a few weak Knights there. These are all full health military for Puppypaw, surprisingly enough. And he's going to send 2 Knights here on the left. Vortix looking to just decap that left side of Sacred Site. But Vortix doesn't have an answer here. Knights, full Knights is not going to be enough. He needs a tech switch. Possibly crossbows. We shall see what he decides to go for. He is getting Iron Undermesh, curiously enough. Looking to get the right side of Sacred Site. Look at the fishing economy for Puppypaw. You get the feeling this fishing economy is going to help him as the game goes on. Give it another 10 minutes and that fishing economy will start to play a big role. You can see he's actually starting to get a bit of a foothold in the middle of the map as well. A lot of stone in the play. Looks like Vortix was about to charge in. Does take out one spearman with the charge. Going to take some of the villagers out. Was a little bit sloppy there for Puppypaw. Sent his villagers first and then his army second. Army were retreating, but the villagers weren't. Oh, that's a big raid here for Vortix, but Puppypaw does react, pulls the villagers back to the town centre. You see the mobility really working well. And look at this fight here for Vortix. This is a great fight. Taking out so many villagers. I think Puppypaw distracted. He was distracted on the woodline, and that distraction cost him dearly. A lot of military going down. Vortix, let's take a look at the numbers. 43 for Puppypaw. 20 for Vortix. Curiously enough, strangely enough, I think a lot of the military, though, is on the water here for Puppypaw in the form of war junks. Now Vortix does head back. Doesn't want to engage with the spearmen involved. Another group of Knights popping through, and there are a couple of prelates in behind looking to heal up these units, and that's actually going to be really significant. I think that's going to be the decisive factor. The Khan has been taken down. The Knights numbers really starting to build up. Gets a charge attack, spearmen involved, but look at the prelates. They're going to be healing up some of the Knights, and that's going to be very key. Look at this Knight being healed up. This Knight is indestructible, it seems, and a couple of the other Knights are going down, and Puppypaw opting to focus on the prelates. But doing so means that he reduces the damage output he has on his opponent's Knights, and that's a big clear up for Vortix. They took a look at the military, 31 for Puppypaw, 17 for Vortix, and that is a huge fight just there. Maybe the full Knight play is actually working out for Vortix in the end. He's taking cost-effective trades, especially with the prelate, and has the Sacred Site on the left decapped. Puppypaw has decapped the right side of Sacred Site, but now Vortix looking to put some pressure. Maybe looking to take an outpost out here. If he takes the outpost, then he might find his way back into the fight, but there is a war junk making its way across that pond. Fascinating game number 1. Looks like Vortix is going to dive that woodline again. A couple of outposts being built, and the Springald place was not in there yet, so it's actually an ideal time for Vortix to dive in. 66 villagers for Puppypaw, 73 for Vortix. Overall, what a back and forth game, but look at the farming economy transition. As I say that, the farming economy is under attack. 3 lancers here, and Vortix has nothing in defense. He's not reacted. This is brutal. Vortix is not reacted. He's not noticed the 3 lancers dancing inside his farms. That's a huge problem. We'll need to come back to that in a second, because he is clearly busy on the northwest corner of the map. And this is painful. I think he reacts now. Possibly. No, he doesn't. Vortix losing villagers. He's not noticing. This is a huge raid for Puppypaw. Vortix. He only recognizes now, but he must have lost at least 10 villagers there. And now on the northwest, he's going to lose some concentration here. Spearmen going to come in. The Spearmen should be able to clear this up, or at least do a lot of damage. Cost-effective trade here. I think Vortix might... Yeah, he's just going to lose everything. 2 huge engagements there for Puppypaw. All the Knights are kind of stuck here on the war junk. He won't be able to take that fight. This is terrible for Vortix. That raid did a lot of damage. He was looking to get up to the Imperial Age, and that's going to be denied. Vortix going left, right, and center. He's struggling. He's floating a lot of wood, plenty of gold in the bank, but he needs that Imperial Age. He's invested a lot of food. But the problem is, Puppypaw is going to smell blood here. We've talked about it before. We'll say it again. You guys have known by now, if you've seen my casted games, when you age up, that is when you're at your most vulnerable. Puppypaw, he hasn't even aged up yet, and Puppypaw knows about it. Puppypaw, I'm sure, is going to go super aggressive, and we see exactly that happen. He's going for knights and spears. The problem for Vortix, he's not got any army that counters the spears. That is a huge problem. He's going to need to invest in some crossbows, I think. He needs something, because those spears are going to be very, very deadly. Yeah, Puppypaw heading straight through, going straight forward, and Puppypaw has got 2 town centers, so he'll be able to pick up on some of the village account. Vortix does reach the Imperial Age though, so this is going to be important, because just look at that villager queue. Puppypaw is going to have something, it's going to have a work cut out for him, because the Palace of Swabi is up and running, the village will be printing. Now this is the key element of this particular game. It's whether Vortix can survive. He needs to survive, because Puppypaw is looking now to dive this economy, is keeping the economy idle, but Vortix needs to survive. If he does, the longer he survives, the better chance he has of winning this game. Because of that Palace of Swabi getting outposts, he's going to need every single one of them he can get. Prelates being made as well, and that could be quite significant. It'd be nice to see the prelates coming out of this town center, whilst this makes the villagers come out of the Palace of Swabi, because the prelates might make the big difference in the fight. Vortix, he's doubling down, he's going full knights, he's going to get the elite knight upgrade. The problem for Puppypaw, he's not engaged, he's not been able to, and now he's missing his window of opportunity. Sure, he's got full spears, but the elite knights, they're going to be doing a lot of damage, and Puppypaw nowhere near that Imperial Age, because he's had to invest in a double town center. And Vortix is looking strong, because he's got those 4 relics. And he's taking a fight. Elite upgrade comes in, this could be the end of it. I think Puppypaw is going to take a bad fight here. Does have the spears, so we'll be trading effectively. But the elite knights, I think the elite knights do have to back off. The spears are actually doing great work. The knight there does get trapped. That was a bad fight. I thought it might have been a clear up for Puppypaw, but the counters, the spears are so strong. There weren't enough prelates there to heal. Let's bring some of the elite knights back. All in all, good fight there by Puppypaw. Bit of a waste of resources. Knights go back towards the town centre. Need to be healed up. I just feel like Vortix is being quite stubborn on the knights. Will it work for him? I'm not sure. He's being super stubborn. And now he's starting to switch into barracks, maybe looking to get some man-at-arms or maybe some spears of his own, getting the insulated helm upgrade from the blacksmith. Puppypaw slowly edging towards that Imperial Age. He's got plenty of gold. Needs a bit more food, does have 2 pawns at his disposal, so I'm a bit surprised he hasn't had a power spike in an economy just yet. Let's take a look at the village count. 79 for Vortix, 85 for Puppypaw. We can see that double town centre really working quite well, despite the Palace of Swabi, and that village count will start to narrow down, but Puppypaw looking strong. Puppypaw will be going up to the next stage. He does have plenty of resources banked up as well. Actually, will he be going to the next stage? Let's just check. Has he gone up? No, he's not clicked up yet. He actually committed, spent a lot of food there. And they keep him in a nice position for Vortix. That's going to be incredibly strong for protecting those farming economy. He's still pretty open here on the centre and the forward position. But he will be able to protect his villagers there with his army, I suspect. Yeah, Puppypaw just extending his castle age. Does have a huge economy. Lancers, just keep an eye on things. I think Puppypaw is aware of the barracks. Yeah, he sees the barracks. That's quite a significant piece of information. Might see some crossbows being added into the mix for Puppypaw. Going full spears and knights at the moment. Who could blame him when he sees what he sees? Just sees full knights. Villagers again being idled here. Doesn't quite yet have fertilization. And curiously, Vortix is actually producing from the primary town centre as well, so village count will start to climb. Puppypaw, look at that though. Village count is dead even now. Puppypaw does have a heck of a lot more military. 72 versus the 29. There's so many spearmen. Holy smokes. And Puppypaw going to the next stage. Do you know what? I'm really quite concerned for Vortix. He needs Lance Connector and he needs them now. He's starting to produce them, because those spearmen will do an incredible amount of damage. I don't know, this could still go either way. For a period of time, I felt like the Imperial Age was a very solid time for Vortix, and his economy is going to be buzzing with the Palace of Swabia. But with Puppypaw going to the Imperial Age now, his army will be upgraded to Imperial Age units. And what timing there! He sees the keep trying to be put up on that gold. And the issue for Vortix is slowly being strangled, slowly being cut off gold supplies. It does have 4 relics that will certainly help him, but there is the Imperial Age. And the thing is, once we've said it before, we've said it again, usually, or sometimes, when you age up, that's when you're most vulnerable. Do you know what? I don't think Puppypaw is vulnerable this time, because he's got so many spears. Puppypaw did a very smart thing. He made sure that he had a lot of military before he invested in that age up. And now that he has invested in the age up, he's quite happy to take a fight. I'm quite surprised Puppypaw is not diving on this. Yeah, Vortix deletes that keep. And he heads back. Puts it a bit further back. Oh, and the knights there for Vortix. Going to absolutely run into their deaths. A couple of crossbows in behind as well. Villagers, I'm not sure they'll be able to get this keep up. The army's just too strong. Veteran spearmen, if they can get upgraded, which they will, but the upgrade's coming in soon. And this is fantastic play by Puppypaw. This is incredibly calculated. Make no mistake about it. He is biding his time. He's waiting for the upgrades. Because once the elite upgrades come in, that is it. He'll be able to put the pressure on. The Lance Connector need to do the work. The Lance Connector might do the work. The elite spearmen are in now. The knights will be dying to the spearmen, that is for sure. But there are a couple of Lance Connector. I think the keep might go up. Yeah, they will. The Lance Connector doing incredible work here. And that's the problem for Puppypaw. Puppypaw losing a lot of military there. This is looking bad for Puppypaw. He lost everything. He literally lost everything. Well, I say that. Puppypaw actually still has 52 military. I just don't know where they are. They're more in the middle of the map, perhaps. Where is that military? Right, there is war junk. Are they in his base or something? I'm not entirely sure. Must be somewhere. They're not accounted for. Okay, here they are. It's like sacred sites are starting to be captured here by Vortix. Maybe look to activate that win condition. Puppypaw lost a lot there, guys. He's heading towards the center. Does have a bombard on the field. The resources looking great for Vortix. This first game of the set. Been incredible so far. Sacred site on the right side has now been captured. Oh, keep going on the west side. This is very significant. This is an 8,000 gold vein, guys. Huge amounts of gold there on the map. Plenty of outposts to defend that position as well. There's an 8,000 gold vein here on the right side. It'd be impressive to see if Vortix can capture that, because there are a couple of war junks on the right side. And let's just make do with this 4,000 gold vein for now. Villagers being sent to the left side. I think they're in for a rude awakening. Oh my god. Vortix looking to try and get a keep here. Will it go up? I don't know. There's no army to protect these villagers. And Puppypaw doesn't have anything nearby. If he does, I think he spots it. He notices something's not right. He's going to head left. Yeah. Oh my god. This is huge. Vortix looking to try and get the keep. Will Puppypaw react with the villagers? Villagers need to garrison the outpost. Puppypaw. We're looking to siege down the outpost. This is an issue. Vortix got so many villagers. They're heading back. Spearmen going to chase. Vortix is going to lose loads. But you know what? If you want civilization for this to happen to, which doesn't necessarily mean it's the end of the game, it will be the Holy Roman Empire, because of course they've got the Palace of Swabia. You'll be able to pin those villagers again. A couple of knights on the right side. New Khan does rise from the ashes. The knights might head in here. This is a great fight for Puppypaw. He's got hand cannons in behind. I don't think Vortix can take this fight. Hand cannons will rip through the knights' villagers here. We can try and build the keep. I don't think he's going to manage it. There's spearmen here. Puppypaw looking to take this fight, and who could blame him? This is a bad fight for Vortix. I'm not sure why he's taking it. And there's villagers here on that keep. I don't think they're going to be able to build it up. They might be able to get up in time, but the knights are going to focus fire, and also the hand cannoneers. Even if the keep does go up, it's going to suffer some losses, but then again, the Holy Roman Empire don't mind losing villagers. There are a couple of prelates there. Prelates will be going down. I think this might be a doubt keep. Holy smokes, this is close to going up. The village is being pulled off. Vortix will not be able to get this keep up. It's going around their left side. Might be able to get up now, but there are hand cannoneers. The melee units don't get the damage in. The keep does go up in the end, but with only 4 villagers left. And that is a huge loss for Vortix. He's lost so many villagers there. And so much idle time in the economy. 109 economy for Puppypaw. 101. I mean, you see the power of the Holy Roman Empire. That Palace of Swabia, despite losing so many villages, he's still got a very competitive amount of villagers. But there is a bombard. There is a trebuchet firing at that keep now. So that keep won't last for very long. But the keep is doing a lot of damage on these infantry. I think Puppypaw needs to either use his infantry to try and take down the keep or back off. He needs to do one or the other. Can't do neither. And Ganel should be firing off as well soon. On the right side, sacred site has been taken. On the west side, gold being taken by Puppypaw. Keep will go down, and now this is a strong position to attack from. One thing that has to be brought into consideration, Vortix has a lot of forward production buildings, but the siege might be able to take care of that. Villagers on the right side, on the left side rather, are going to be taken down by the cannon and placements in the outposts. These villagers are running for their lives. They will not survive. Now we've got spearmen and crossbows to protect the siege that's slowly building up. Poor Puppypaw has got trebuchet and a bombard. A couple of knights going to go around the right side, maybe looking to put some pressure on the siege workshops. The outposts do have sprung on placements. I think the knights are going to dive straight into the economy. One thing about the Mongols, unfortunately, of course for them, they don't have walls, and so they are open to raids. Barracks will be going down to the siege here. Plenty of villagers on stone for Vortix. Maybe looking to get another keep of his own. Stable might be going down here. And this is a strong push by Puppypaw. Make no mistake about it, and look at this. Great map awareness for Puppypaw. Looking to get some outposts on this right side of Gold Vein. Again, to secure that 8,000 Gold Vein. And things are looking rough here for Vortix, has to be said. The production buildings are going down. This is a strong push. I think Puppypaw might have his window of opportunity here. I think the hand cannoneers are going to do a great job, especially with the mangonels in behind. It just feels like this is a push that Vortix can't stop. He needs a defensive keep, but even if he does get defensive keep, all the siege in the way, and there's just no way for Puppypaw, well, no way for Vortix to take care of that siege. The problem is because Vortix has a lot of infantry now. He's made an infantry switch when really he needs the cavalry to try and swoop in from behind, or he needs some springalds. He needs siege of his own, but Vortix doesn't have that. Lance Connector going to take a big fight here, trying to rush down a keep here. Wait, Vortix lost that. Oh my god, that is huge. Vortix lost that keep, I think. Tried to build the keep, and he lost it because of the bombard. Bombard does get sniped by the horseman. Nice play there, but that was fantastic by Puppypaw. And this is a huge fight here that I don't think Vortix can win. The hand cannoneers really starting to build up in numbers. The keep does go up though. The trebuchet will be immediately firing at that, you feel. Now the hand cannoneers are bulked up in a position, looking to destroy those barracks. Are suffering a bit of fire from the keep though. Not enough siege here for Puppypaw at the moment. Puppypaw going to head back to the trebuchet. You could blame him. Needs to slowly work on this keep. Right side of Sacred Site has been decapped. Hand cannoneer do take out a knight. Recalibration for Puppypaw. A very strong push. Now he's going to start to attack from here. He's getting the outpost there to protect. And don't forget, there's actually 4,000 gold vein here. So Puppypaw has access and protection over the gold sources here. You have the feeling that Vortix is going to struggle. He does have a lot of gold in the bank, and he does have 4 relics. So I'll sustain him for quite some time. But Puppypaw in control here at the moment. Let's take a look at the military count. 80 for Puppypaw, fully population capped. Vortix at 40. Not too far off being population capped himself, but the key issue is the strategic locations that Puppypaw has control over. He has the waters, he's had the fishing economy for quite a period of time now. And the hand cannons just dive in. They're going to take down the barracks. Units won't be able to amalgamate. Vortix trying to build up an army here in the back lines. Needs to save up his army for a big fight here. He needs to have one big push. Spearmen and lancers there. Going to be more than enough to deal with the knights and the horsemen. As you can see, Vortix struggling with the gold now. Has Lance Connector. Sure it's going to be enough. Now there is a bombard on the field. That keep will go down. Defensive structures are being taken down. And looks like Vortix trying to get a keep here. Doesn't happen. The outpost with cannon placements. Deal with that. You can see Vortix struggling for gold. He is struggling. Doesn't have the gold income he wants despite having 4 relics. Horseman switch. These guys will not cut it against the spearmen and hand cannoneers. Slowly but surely, Puppypaw pushing forward. Get the feeling that Vortix is going to be losing a grip on this game. And looks like Vortix's go time. He's going to push forward. He does have a decent number of lance connected. They'll be able to do a decent amount of work. The attack move arrow does get put here, but the horsemen will be dying to the hand cannoneers. Plenty of them. Spearmen looking to take down the horsemen. This is a huge fight here for Puppypaw. I'm not sure he should be able to win it, but the horsemen trying to get a surround on them. The hand cannoneers just melting through the horsemen. And the cannon emplacement is going to be doing great work on the outpost. Still lance connector on the field for Vortix. Strong push by Puppypaw. He's got the reinforcements to come in. This is the issue. Puppypaw has the resources to continue to produce. He's actually population capped, and now the ability for Vortix to replenish his army is not the same. That is for sure. And cannoneers slowly making their way forward. You feel like Vortix is losing the grip over this game. Does have enough for another keep. Problem for that is that the keep, as soon as it goes up, it's going to come down again. Look at that. The step redoubt being pushed forward with the villagers on gold. Slowly but surely, Puppypaw making his way forward with hand cannoneers, horsemen, spearmen, and the bombards. The production building is being taken down as well, and Vortix struggling for wood. You feel like this is going to end very soon because this is a strong push coming in from the Mongols. Yeah, Puppypaw moving again through towards the left side. And the Spearman, the army, just not enough here for Vortix. He has horsemen, but that's all he has. And those guys will melt to the hand cannoneers. It's a big fight here. Trying to snipe down the trebuchet. That's only part of the answer though, because there are hand cannoneers that he needs to deal with, and the hand cannoneers are going to get a lot of action on the Lance Connector. The Lance Connector can't really get close. As you can see, Puppypaw on a kind of a spread formation keeps the hand cannoneers separated so the Lance Connector can't get a huge surround. But this is the big fight. You feel like this is going to be the last fight. Whoever wins this, well, I say whoever wins this, but Puppypaw, if he wins this, he will win the fight, and he wins the game. Game number 1 goes for Puppypaw. Vortix tapping out. Game number 1 was a fantastic one on Kawasan. We're going to have to go to game number 2. Don't go anywhere. It's coming right up. Here we are, ladies and gents. Game number 2 between Vortix and Puppypaw in this best of 5, the grand final. The road to Redbull Wololo, August weekly. And we have got Puppypaw playing on the east side of the map in red as the Rus, and on the west we've got Vortix playing in blue as the French. A fantastic matchup to the French and the Rus on dry Arabia. But game number 2, we can see that hunting cabin going down early, nice and early for Puppypaw as expected, going for the hunt, going for the bounty, getting 2 wolves on his tail already, this scout. Gonna contest this west-sided deer patch, and already does have some bounty under his belt. He's picking them up left, right and centre. Might miss out on that one though. Yeah, they're fighting it over. They're fighting over it. Oh, Vortix doing well actually to deny that. He's doing pretty well on the west side. One will be taken there, and decent haul there. Decent haul for Puppypaw in terms of bounty, that is for sure. Let's take it off the reveal all. As you can see, he's getting his second scout here on the right. Has got a third as well. Oh, we just missed out on a wolf there. There is a wolf there. We just saw it there phase out. Puppypaw didn't quite notice that. Going to bring the wolf back home and get that nice bounty very quickly. Is he going for an early wheelbarrow? We shall see. Doesn't have the wood just yet deposits off. He isn't going for that wheelbarrow early. We see that often with the build for the Rus civilization. He's confident he will have enough bounty to get up to the feudal age, and it's looking that way so far. So far so good. There are still 2 wolves here on the west to be taken, and he should have enough to get to the feudal age, especially with 3 scouts. Got 2 more wolves there. That's just the one actually. Picking up a decent number of sheep as well. And that's going to be strong for the food economy for the Rus today, played by Puppypaw. Vortix, let's take a look at his scouting pattern. Just 2 scouts for him. Does have a decent number of wolves though. Has to be careful not to outrun the wolves. They can de-aggro the wolves if you move too far away. Understandably so, and that can happen sometimes. So you have to be careful. It's actually going to bring the wolves back to the town centre, it seems. And also bring back the sheep. Let's take the full picture of the map so far, and he's actually picked up a whole deer patch here on the north. Puppypaw, that is his own deer patch to be fair, so looking good on the bounty. Let's take a look at his bounty so far. Already 225. We'll be unlocking tier 2 very soon, especially when that wolf is killed. There we are. It's going to be coming in very soon. There it is. It's going to have enough for the feudal age as well. It's going to be going up with the Golden Gate, no doubt. There it is. Golden Gate going to be fantastic for the Rus tier today against the French. School of Cavalry is being built by Vortix as expected. 3 minutes on the clock, both players clicking up to the feudal age at relatively similar times. Now let's take a look at the map, because often you can see a secondary expansion coming in for the Rus. That seems to be the meta play at the moment on Dry Arabia, so we shall see if he decides to go for the boar play or whether he decides to put it near the deer and the gold. This is actually a nice spot for it, relatively kind of safe-ish, closest to his base, not sort of in the middle of the map randomly. There is a boar here. That's pretty far in the middle of the map. That's pretty central as well. There's a decent chance that Vortix would scout that out. And this one in the south is very, very south. Right on the edge of the map. Could be an option, but I don't know how I feel about getting a town centre on these boar locations. They're a bit too far out, so I suspect if it is a second town centre, he'll probably go for the deer and the gold. If he decides to go for the boar, he might go for the traditional wooden fortress and hunting cabin. Remains to be seen. Scouts are going to be going on the gold vein here on the west side. Going to disrupt those villages for Vortix. Might delay the popping out of the knight, because he only has 3 villages on gold. We'll need 100 to be able to afford a knight. It's getting up to the feudal age very soon. Deposits the gold, needs 5 more, and we'll be able to afford that knight. There is the age up for Puppypaw. Going a barracks, looking to get some spearmen on the field, expecting some knights to pop out. School of Cavalry is going to be built. He's going to have enough for 1 knight. Vortix also managing to click for Wheelbarrow as well. Wheelbarrow will be coming in. Oh, a snipe on the scout there. Puppypaw does lose 1. Nice work there. Nice micro for Vortix. A lot of HP lost on that scout as well. Almost lost another. 3 villagers on gold still remain, and a knight will be popping out for Vortix soon. Well, actually, I think... Did he? Wait. I wonder if the knight's already gone out, or maybe he cancelled it. No, I think he cancelled it. So Vortix didn't opt for that knight in the end. He's going to delay it somewhat. Oh, he's queued it up again, actually. A little bit confusing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he had one queued up and then he delayed it. In any case, he's got one coming out now soon. As you can see, 5.5 minutes. This bought a lot of time for Puppypaw to get spears out. Yeah, it does look like a second town centre. As you can see, he's actually got 300 gold. Sorry, 300 stone. Enough to get that second town centre. Just needs wood. And use those 2 tickets from the Golden Gate. So this is very nice for the Roos. It's almost like a hidden second town centre, because there's no way of your opponent really knowing for sure. Because of course he's not actually mining any stone, so he just bought the stone. Going to send 11 villagers out to this position. Spearmen on hand to defend and protect. The early knight, the Royal Knight, is going to come out looking to charge down that scout. And if Puppypaw could just drag the knight northwards towards the base, that would be really effective. Doesn't want to give away the position for the second town centre. There are 4 spearmen there anyway, so they'll be well adept at protecting that position. Actually going to bring a spearman towards the wood line, just in case the knight heads that way. The knight's actually going to head the way of the town centre. Vortix backs off a little bit. Not much damage coming out of that knight, not much value, just the 1 knight commitment. He's going for a second town centre himself, so that'll be strong because the Roos don't have the same powerhouse of a town centre that the French do. The French actually produce villagers quicker from each town centre, so 2 town centre play from both players seems to be the meta at the moment on Dry Arabia. 2 spearmen going towards the wood line, need to protect that position because there are knights circling around the scout, keeping him honest, keeping vision. Well, the scout might lose his life, looking to be sniped, but Vortix does head back. There are 3 spearmen, 4 spearmen. These guys are hardened as well. These have been upgraded. Wooden Fortress is going down on the south side wood line, which is where the knight is going to head towards. Might get a charge attack on one of the villagers. Puppypaw not keeping his spearmen on hand that way, but the Vortix doesn't quite spot that. A refreshment of the lumber camp, and the Wooden Fortress will be very, very nice for the wood boost there. That the buff for the Roos. 20% more wood will be deposited on the lumber camp now. Second town centre going towards the berries and the deer patch. And the stone could be very nice for Vortix, because of course the French do like to get a castle or 2. Do like to get a keep or 2 and get those production buildings around those keep to make those units cheaper for the archery range and stable. You can see double broad axe being researched here for Vortix. Going to get that wood upgrade. You can see very standard plays here so far. 3 knights going to try and dive a villager. Villager does go down. That was a bit rough there. I'm not sure. Did the villager manage to survive? It looked like she went down. In any case, there's not enough space in that town centre. Only 10 villagers can garrison inside that secondary town centre. One of the knights might die though. Let's get away with it. He does manage to get away with it just about. That's quite key because Vortix will likely to invest in chivalry. And that knight will heal himself back up again. Let's take a look at the village count. 30 for Vortix, 33 for Puppypaw. It's rather surprising. But it will be because the second town centre was up and running earlier. There is an archery range going down, double archery range, so it's typical French play here. It's stable in terms of the School of Cavalry and double archery range. Quite a few spearmen going towards base now, being aggressive with the spearmen. Oh, might get a good take there. That was a fantastic snipe. Vortix going to lose a knight. At least a loss of HP on that other knight as well. Scout goes down for Vortix. All in all, great fight for Puppypaw. Looking to wall up this right side with the fortified palisade walls. Sending 2 villagers and a scout just to make sure that happens. Spearmen again, looking to chase down those knights. So far so good for both players actually. You feel that Puppypaw has a bit of an advantage. Double stable barracks. Looking to be aggressive here. Knights and spears dictating the fight. That army is a very nice composition. As you can see, double stable, double archery range now for Vortix. pumping out those villagers. Knight tries to dive in the wood line, won't get too much value. Wooden fortress is on hand. Oh, and now it looks like the knight might be trapped. The spears, yeah, the knight is trapped. Nice work there for Puppypaw. Wall that all up. It's nice and safe and secure on this southern border. Two town centers, he's looking strong. And the wall up towards the north won't be too difficult. There is a wood line there. As you can see, Knight's keeping an eye on things. Scouts hiding on the stealth forest. Oh, Knight gets a charge attack. Villager will go down for Vortix. That's a bit rough. Probably won't lose a second. Spearman can just move towards the north part now. This is the exposed part of the base for Puppypaw. He can consolidate his base with the wood lines, with the wood palisade walls. And now the villagers do go back out to gold. The knight's still there. I won't be able to take a trade here because that knight will be full health for Vortix. Spearman heading forward though, taking a good fight here. Scout goes down for Vortix. This is actually a menacing army for Puppypaw. 12 military for Vortix, 20 for Puppypaw. Now, one thing has to be said. Although the town centers do produce faster, that means food income will need to be higher to keep these guys running. It will pay for itself quicker, but there is always a bit of a lag time between converting those villagers and the resources that they bring into army or make themselves pay for themselves. But in any case, Vortix is still trying to produce as much as it can from 2 archer ranges and 2 stables. Might be a fight coming up very, very soon, and it's going to need good micro for Vortix because he does have a couple of archers, but there are a hell of a lot of spearmen there. Knights again denying the gold. This is actually quite key. Vortix does have access to a secondary gold. I'm surprised he hasn't moved there. Trying to keep access to this gold vein. Oh, now Vortix is a bit out of position with his archers. In fact, I don't even know where they are. That's not a good sign. And again, oh, this is terrible for Vortix. He's going to lose villagers on the gold. He's going to lose loads, and that is a big, big problem. The knights were just, I don't know where they were going. They were going on a skirmish somewhere, and now he's going to lose so many of these villagers. Vortix taps out. He knows he's made a mistake. He pulls out. He's going to go straight on to game number 3. He's had enough of this game. He knows he's probably down and out. He lost a lot of villagers there on the gold, and Vortix does lose that game, meaning the Puppypaw is 2-0 up. This set is heating up. Best of 5, game number 3 is going to be coming right up. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 3 for this best of 5 grand final for the August weekly between Puppypaw and Vortix. Puppypaw playing in red on the east side of the map as the Chinese, and on the west in blue is Vortix as the Roost. The map is all type. It's a very interesting pick here by Vortix, picking the Roost today, going up against the Chinese. The Chinese traditionally known to be a very strong civilization on Altai, and Puppypaw has plenty of experience. He's actually going towards the deer. We've casted a game for Puppypaw on this map already on the channel very recently, and he's going to go for the deer. Often goes for survival techniques as well. We'll need that Imperial official to drop off the gold. He's getting the Imperial official now. That will pop out, and then he'll need to just drop off some food to be able to afford another villager. He will do so soon, I suspect. There we are. It's forced drop off. Villager queued up. We're popping out now, and with the first drop off, he will be organizing survival techniques. There we are. We've got it. Survival techniques coming in. He's heavy on the deer, and that food income is going to come up very, very quickly. It's very quick to research as well. As you can see, it's already come in for Puppypaw because it's being supervised by the Imperial official as well. Now on the west, Vortix just killing the deer, getting that bounty that he needs. Let's have a look at the bounty. 120 so far. He will be looking to get that tier 2 at the very least. Now on a map like Altai, it really does depend on the spawn and how close things are. This is a relatively, I guess, openish map. It can be closed, more closed than this. There are boars on the map as well, so we need to pay attention to that. We shall see if Puppypaw goes for a Song Dynasty, maybe with the Imperial Academy first. We often see Puppypaw do that, often going for an Imperial Academy first, and then the Barbican and the Sun further forward. Usually on the boar position to secure some map control, but we shall see if Vortix will be able to deny something like that. Getting that early wheelbarrow. The tables have turned. On the last match, Puppypaw was playing Roos. Now it's Vortix's turn to play as the Roost. Playing the little mini game there, getting those deer. 2 wolves on the chase. And Vortix does need to be careful. Only 1 more sheep there. I need to bring a couple of sheep back home, or it could transition onto the deer. That's one thing about all time. You don't necessarily have to be too concerned about bringing sheep back if you're happy to go towards the deer. And looks like Vortix just manages to get some of the deer there. Good number of sheep though. Let's take a look at how many scouts Vortix did actually end up going for. Looks like it's just the 2. Actually, no, I'll take that back. It's 3. There's 2 on one screen here. The Vortix did opt for the 3 scout build. And as you can see, the Imperial Academy is being put down for Puppypaw. As we anticipated, is now going towards the wood line. 3 villagers on gold suggests that he might be looking for a feudal Song dynasty. This game is a crucial one. This best of 5, it is match point. Puppypaw winning the last 2 games means that Vortix needs to come up with a response to even have a chance of winning this. In fact, Vortix will need a reverse sweep. We shall see if it's something he can be capable of doing. I mean, he's certainly capable of doing. It's just whether he can pull it off or not. Going up to the feudal age with the Golden Gate, building it with 6 villagers, getting a house here and a wooden fortress on that wood line. We'll be bolstering those villagers, making that wood drop-off point 20% more efficient. Or, well, going to be dropping off 20% more wood at each drop-off, so that wood count will start to rise. The Imperial Academy is about to be built for the Chinese, going with 2 villagers to build that. Of course, the Chinese villagers build faster. New age begins. There is the feudal age for Puppypaw. Vortix lagging behind a little bit. Villagers are pushed off of gold just for temporarily. Puppypaw does have enough food, lacking on the gold because he has been pushed off gold. Villagers got to fight. And the Imperial official going to be second Imperial official being made. Going to be dropping off gold here. He's going towards the lumber camp to pick up some more gold. Bit of an engagement here, but there are hand cannon slits from the town centre firing off at the scouts. Quite a few weak HP scouts, but he's still being a pest here. Vortix does get up to the feudal age himself. Does he go for an aggressive play here in the feudal age, or does he try and go for a second town centre? Often we can see the Roost go for a second town centre, using the Golden Gate to buy that stone. We shall see if that's what he opts for. Quite a few villagers around. He's going for the Barbican of the Sun. You can see already. He's going for the Imperial official coming out as well. Not sure why. That might have been a mistake. It was indeed. 7 villagers. An 8th one being added. He's going to go for the boar. There's no real way for Vortix to deny this. We've seen this before. Vortix is going to aggro the boar. Try and leave it at the villagers. There we are. Just to be pest here. Puppypaw might lose a villager if he's not paying attention. He's not paying attention. Puppypaw will lose a villager. He lost one. Will he lose another? Quite possibly. I mean, if he doesn't, the villager's going to be pulled back. Oh. And this is going to be denied. This possibly could be denied. This is huge play by Vortix. He's pulling it off. Holy smokes, what a play. We've seen this been done before, but we've never seen it have this result before. Villager will be going down. I think the boar is attacking the scout now, though. Yeah, Vortix does lose a scout. One villager does go down. Boar's still alive, though. Boar's still alive and kicking. Could start attacking the villagers, and that could become a problem. Villager's going to run around. Oh, and the villagers will be going down. Puppypaw. Oh, this is a bad start for Puppypaw. If there's one civilization that can cover, it really is the Chinese. And I think Vortix has enough HP. Yeah, I mean, he's just going to run around and do it again. Holy moly. We don't need to look at anything else, guys. This is the focal point of the game so far. The Barbican of the Sun will go up, but he will lose another villager. Only 3 villagers remain there. Oh, what value there from 1 scout. Well, probably more than 1 scout was there, I think. It was 2, I think, but to start off with. That is huge value for Vortix. Let's take a look at the villager count. 22 for Puppypaw. 24 for Vortix, but it's mostly the idle time that really did damage. The boar again, aggroed still. Now, if Puppypaw does want to get that boar, he's going to have to bring villagers. He's going to have to pick up the non-weak ones because there are a lot of low HP ones. Archery range being placed down. We're going to get Zhuganu out onto the field soon. Looks like villagers coming out for Vortix. Where are they going? Has he spent the tickets in the Golden Gate? He has indeed. I think it's going to be second town centre, but where exactly are these villagers heading? Towards the boar, I think. The second boar on the other side of the cliff. Yep, looks like that's the case. 8 villagers being pulled. And because of that play, Puppypaw's not been able to safely take that boar. He's actually going to go up for the second town centre. 2 town centre Song Dynasty. That's going to be incredibly strong in the economy-wise. So Puppypaw will be looking to build up their economy, and it is the boar that's going to be taken. Nice micro. Could have saved the villager being killed. And interesting to see Vortix, yeah, go for a Wooden Fortress. And I'm a bit surprised he didn't put the drop-off point here. You would have a better gold income here if you put the hunting camp on this side, but in any case, it is what it is. He actually doesn't build the Wooden Fortress in the end. Going to send a villager to try and wall up. Puppypaw looking to get the walls up first, though. Vortix was trying to wall out the berries, the gold, and the deer. That would actually been a nice play if you managed to. You won't be able to. Or at least you might not be able to. We'll have to see. In any case, 2 town centre Song Dynasty for the Chinese, 35 villages for Vortix, 33 for Puppypaw. That gap will be narrowing very, very soon. Actually, you know what? Vortix might manage it. But Puppypaw is sending a Shuganu, so that'll be fine. Vortix heads back with the villagers. No, he doesn't actually have the Wooden Fortress up yet. Hope he doesn't forget. But he's actually going to start walling up here, a bit further back, not wanting to give away the map control. And he's actually going to be able to get another bit of bounty there with the wolf. Nicely done. Village count. Even Stevens at the moment. 2 town centre here for Vortix, so that's where the second town centre went. On the deer and the berries. No, it looks like Vortix will be going up to the Castle Age. Looking to try and get some relics. Going up with 12 villagers on the Abbey of the Trinity. Upgrading his spearmen to hardened spearmen here. Puppypaw. Puppypaw committing to the feudal age, actually. He's got to go for Zhuganu and spearmen, it seems. And I suppose he has to commit to the feudal age. He does have 2 town centres that will certainly eat up into the food economy. Didn't have the benefit of getting the boar, of course. We're sending 1 spearman forward just to get some scouting information. Triple archery range for Vortix. Going to go very aggressive. Could this be horse archers? Probably not. Because he's got a lot of villages on gold still. Which we'll see. There's the Abbey of the Trinity. We'll queue up a warrior monk instantaneously. To try and get some of those relics, I think Puppypaw will be onto this now. He's going to look to try and protect some of those relics, I suspect. Puppypaw does get the walls up in a nice spot. There is actually a relic there that Puppypaw doesn't have within his walls. He needs to be aware of that. There are other relics closer though. 3 in a kind of line, straight line across the middle of the map. This one's a given for Vortix, that's for sure. Looking to get some palisade walls here. Looks like Vortix quite happy to play the long game, which is a bit of a surprise against the Chinese. It's actually going to be the horse archers. 3 of them going forward. Puppypaw looking to wall up here. I'm curious to see if he gets them up in time. I suspect he will, because Barbican and the Sun will be ranging those horse archers. The horse archers might just be able to pick off a villager. In fact, no, because Puppypaw is wise to the ruse and he pulls the villager back. Spearmen are going to be sacrificed. They do get a couple of good hits though on the horse archer. There's Shuganu behind. That horse archer will lose his life. Maybe we can try and get some scouting information, but doesn't quite manage it. We hear relics being picked up. I think the one in the middle has been picked up, yep. Warrior monk will be bringing that back home for Vortix. Let's take the village count though. It's going to be high for Puppypaw, that is for sure. 53 for Vortix, 64 for Puppypaw. As you can see, the economy running riot here for Puppypaw. It's only going to get bigger, that difference. The longer the game goes on, the better the chance for Puppypaw to win. This is still open. I'm pretty sure that's still open. I'm not sure he's aware. Yeah, I don't think he's aware. I'm not sure if Vortix would be aware either, to be fair. There are Zhuganu there guarding anyway. But now is the Castle Age time for Puppypaw. Not too far behind. It's going to go up with Ashnok or Clock Tower. Doesn't mean a couple of relics will be picked up. There we are. The first one being deposited. Only one warrior monk though so far. Or so that I can see. Nope, no, take it back. There's a second warrior monk coming out. Yeah, so Puppypaw was aware of that. He's actually going to be walling up that relic. Nicely done there. There's that Castle Age for Puppypaw. And the horse archers starting to really build up in numbers here. Reducing out 3 archer rangers do decent amount of work on the Juganoo, has to be said. Sniper spearmen, but there is the Barbican of the Sun. A couple of scouts are trying to siege through. It might be horse archers. Yeah, horse archer scouts. So getting the horse archers with the scouts as a meat shield in front. Very strong play for the Roost at the moment. Looks to be the play for Vortix at the moment. Also getting some warrior monks. You can get Saint's Reach, which increases the range of Saint's Blessings by 3 tiles. We want to take an engagement with the warrior monks involved. I'll try and torch this down. We're going to be seeing a Nest of Bees come out from the clock tower. That's going to be hugely strong for Puppypaw, but the walls will be breached. There are Juganoo building up. Supervision is underway. Villagers might need to be pulled off with gold here. We'll lose one. Nest of Bees going to fire off. Let the fireworks begin. It's a large amount of damage. Horse Archer's getting good value though. A couple of scouts dying. And Vortix has to retreat. He backs off. Horse Archer production continues. 3 relics in play here for Vortix. This is not bad. Has the potential to get a 4th. He will get a 4th one. So Puppypaw being pretty greedy. But he will have a strong economy, but won't have the relics. He's going to be setting himself up for some granaries. 85 villagers versus 68. Vortix will want to pile on the pressure soon. He's got horse archers, but the problem for him is that the base has been narrowed here very significantly by Puppypaw's play here. He's got the Barbican of the Sun, and then he's going to get a keep on his forward position. That is Vortix going to try and pressure from here. Going to get siege workshops as well, 2 of them. A barracks going down for Puppypaw. Maybe looking to get some palace guards in the mix. Maybe some spearmen. We'll have to see how many villages are being pulled. Not entirely sure just yet. It will be 13 of them. So certainly looking aggressive on that front. Does have 1 ticket in the Golden Gate left to be used if it needed. This will be a key issue here. And it looks like Vortix actually moves a bit further back. He's content with this position. Certainly would offer him a lot of control of the map. That gold vein will be secure. Will he be queuing up a trebuchet? I'm not sure if he has enough gold just yet. He doesn't, but he will soon, especially with the number of relics he's picking up. There's the 4th one deposited, I think. There's the 3rd one there. We need another monastery. Yep, another monastery has been built. 4 relics in play. Keep will go up. But at what cost? Because there are Juganoo coming forward now, and Nest of Bees. They're going to get some fire shots off. This is an issue. Juganoo spot it. Juganoo going to start focusing on the villagers. Horse archers are there though. Nest of Bees firing off the villagers. This is a problem for Vortix. Loads of low HP villagers. Oh, Vortix doesn't have textiles. That is a big problem. Villagers need to be pulled back. The keep should go up, but we'll be losing a lot of villagers in the process. Nest of Bees get fire off on the scouts rather than the villagers. The villagers garrison inside. Now there's a secure point for Vortix to fight from. Will we see some trebuchets? Yep, a trebuchet is queued up. Double trebuchet. And villagers will be able to go on that gold vein. Whatever's left of them. 6 of them. Around about 7 villagers killed then. Second STB pops out for the Chinese. And Vortix looking to pile on the pressure. Vortix getting the right side of the second side. Has the left one. There's no walls. Actually, he has walled it in Puppypaw on the left side. So Vortix actually looking in a good spot here. Having 4 relics and 2 sacred sites. And it's pressuring in the middle. Now the key issue is that Vortix has activated or will be activating the sacred site timer. And the problem for Puppypaw is that if he moves his army to either side, that will leave the center of his base vulnerable. And that's what's being pushed here by 2 trebuchets, sprinkled Maganel coming out from the siege workshops as well. So it's going to be horse archers and siege for the Roost today, played by Vortix. Vortix can afford another keep soon as well. I say that he would have activated Sacred Site. He's actually got the middle one. He's not taking it yet. I'm not entirely sure why. Really should. He's got full control of that area. Maybe a bit of a misplay there. Focusing on the bomb on the Barbican the Sun, but now Puppypaw looking to head forward. There's Zhuganu and a couple of Nesta Bees in the background. Horse Archers are there as well. I don't know what Puppypaw is doing. He's heading straight towards the keep. This is a big misplay. It must be a misclick. I don't know what that was about. But the army will be dying to keep quite a few of them. 2 trebuchets on the field. There's a trebuchet for Puppypaw behind the palisade walls. Now that's a key significant thing because the Springald shouldn't be able to fire at the oh, it can. I didn't actually know that. I think it might be to do with the elevation paths, but Nesta Bees get a good shot off and the wood walls, they get taken down. He wants full maximum approach here, but there are mangonels. Puppypaw's gonna have to be careful about the mangonels. A couple of warrior monks are in the mix. I'm surprised he's not going for that central sacred side. Another trebuchet does pop out. Puppypaw's under a bit of pressure here. Vortix go for some Springalds. I think he recognizes it's going to be Springald to fights here. Zhuganu trying to take down the Springald. Zhuganu can't get any closer because of the mangonels and the keep. Warrior Monk charging forward. Going to get hit on the Springald. Does take it out. And again, very surprised he's not going for the central sacred site. 2 mangonels ready to deploy as well. Springald's going on the top of the hill. Thing is that Puppypaw is actually holding off 89 villages for Vortix, 125 for Puppypaw. The problem for Vortix, you feel that he's not been able to pressurize quick enough. It looks like Puppypaw trying to break through on the left side with a sizable number of villages, 27 of them to be precise. Springald's going to head forward, quite a few of them. Zhuganu going to fire at them. Doesn't get hit off on the trebuchets though. That's the problem. Nesta Bees does get taken out. Siege is going to be deployed. Mangonels, will they get a shot off? They do. And the trebuchet is still alive though. Springald and Nesta Bees still alive. The mangonels might get a second shot here. Puppypaw diving in. Again, decent amount of damage, but the horse archers, will there be enough? Scouts as a meat shield. The warrior monks on the front line as well. And the mangonels should be able to clear this up. Mangonels do go down. No more mangonels for Vortix, but he should be able to clear this up, especially with the number of horse archers and also the warrior monks. But he heads back. There are spearmen, there are horsemen. Are the 2 mangonels, are they still there? I'm not entirely sure. 2 trebuchets still alive. And Zhuganu are incredibly strong. I don't think the horse archers is really the play here. The Zhuganu archers, the archers kind of counter the horse archers. I'm not sure why Vortix is committing to this. Would have been better to opt for knights. Instead, Puppypaw taking a much better trade here. Puppypaw just biding his time. Doesn't need to do much more. 2 trebuchets do unpack, so there's Springalds. Mangonel about to unfold as well. Just get the feeling there aren't enough mangonels here. They do get a volley off. Does take quite a bit of damage there, a lot of HP lost. Will the horse archers do be able to clean up the rest? Mangonel gets a huge shot on Puppypaw's Zhuganu, and the numbers really start to dwindle. The horse archers should be able to clear this up. A couple of horsemen trying to take out the Springalds. And the trebuchet goes down in the back for Puppypaw. Puppypaw loses everything. He dives in. Mangonels clears it up. And the Mangonels seal the deal. Vortix gets this win. He claws one back. A reverse sweep is totally on. Vortix could do it potentially. Puppypaw resigning. Moving on to game number 4. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 4 for this grand finals. And we have got Vortix playing the south corner of the map in red as the English. Puppypaw on the north in blue as the Delhi Sultanate. Now, I believe the map is Basin. That is indeed the case. But the thing is, guys, this is match point. Puppypaw just needs to win this game and he'll win the best of 5. And do you know what? Vortix has a tough task ahead of him. The Civ matchup is really not going to favour Vortix. The Delhi Sultanate certainly looking to be strong in the Civ matchup. And let me tell you why. In the Feudal Age, which is where the English tend to do a decent job, and I say decent because really the biggest strength for the English is in the hyper late Imperial Age game. The Delhi are formidable in the Feudal Age, and this is because of the free upgrades they get. They are incredibly I guess, rewarded in the feudal age because of the sacred sites. He's got a sacred site here, pretty much his, of his own in the feudal age. And because of this, in the feudal age, they can also get efficient production from the mosque, which enables the scholars to garrison inside those production buildings and produce twice as fast. So you save 150 wood per production building in the feudal age. So you can really pump out those units. Each little bit of saving like that really adds up. They can get a hold of the sacred sites. I mean, the Delhi are very strong in the feudal age, and they often play an extended feudal age. The English can sometimes do a decent job, especially with the longbowman rush, but you know what? The Delhi can just outproduce you. The main thing for the English getting the council hall is they can effectively have double archery range production of archers, or longbows in this case. But well, the Delhi just need to build one archery range, it's equivalent to 150 wood, and just garrison a scholar inside. And then Bob's your uncle, you've got a makeshift Delhi council hall. So I really feel bad for Vortix in this matchup. He's going to have to pull something out of the bag with this one, and he needs to because the series at the moment is 2-1 to Puppypaw. So Vortix can't afford another loss. If he does, that would be game over for this set on Basin on the road to Redbull Wololo. And we can see there's an age up here coming out for Vortix. I'm not entirely sure what the play is going to be. The issue for Vortix is he's got a problem on his hands. He's almost certainly going to be facing up against a heavy feudal age in the form of the Delhi Sultanate. And so fast castle is not really an option against the Delhi Sultanate. He's going to have to commit to a feudal age, and he's going to have to be very good with the macro management with the upgrades, because of course the Delhi Sultanate just spam click everything and they get it for free. Dome of the Faith is the landmark of choice here for Puppypaw, going up with 3 villagers. Be interesting to see what the army composition of choice. Often the Delhi Sultanate open up with a stable for some horsemen to get some map control, and slowly transition to archers. Of course, Vortix with the English often start off with longbows because they have access to the council hall. Will he be able to get a stable down for horsemen himself? We shall see what he chooses to do. Berry's being taken by the Delhi Sultanate. As you guys will know, this isn't another bonus yet in the feudal age. They've got a really nice source of food. They can really delay the farm transitions because the berries for them are boosted. They get more berries for starters in terms of food on each patch. But also they pick them faster, and so it's actually better for them to go for the berries, and then they can make the transition to sheep and then to farms. The English do have cheaper farms, which will certainly help their cause, but they do have to still spend wood to do so, so that does delay things for them in terms of military production. It's going for a barrack, does have the option of man-at-arms, doesn't have any villagers on gold though, so I'm almost confident we're not going to be seeing any man-at-arms, at least not yet. It's going to be spearmen. Spearmen, longbowmen, the play here for Vortix. Both players are going to be going up to the feudal age at very similar times, and this is what I mean. In the feudal age, the Delhi Sultanate will be incredibly strong. As we can see, Sanctity going to be researched very shortly, I'm sure. Yep, Piety is put on hold for just now. Sanctity is what allows the scholars to capture the sacred sites. As you can see, there's a sacred site right for the taking here on Basin on the left side. And there's that stable as we anticipated for the Delhi Sultanate. Quite a typical opening. We'll need to add in some archers though, because there are spearmen on the field for Vortix as well. Yeah, there's the arch range coming out as well. Scholar getting ready to sit right in that stable, does get himself in there. So we'll be able to produce this horseman twice as fast. Scout does go down for Vortix, that's actually very painful. Needs that vision. Longbows starting to be streamed through. And look at this arch range being garrisoned as well with the scholar. So double production of the arch range, double production of the stable. This is what I mean. The feudal age is incredibly strong. Council hall nullified by the arch range and the scholar garrison side. The barracks. Again, there's 2 stables here effectively. Army numbers starting to build up. Here comes the army for Vortix, trying to pile on the pressure on the wood line. The other thing is that the town site is so close to the wood line that the wood line is almost impossible to be denied. Not unless he comes around the back. That'll be a longer time to take. A longer route to take. Um, so far, so good for both players. Passive. See some scholars coming out of the Dome of Faith, going straight into the mosque. Army numbers starting to build up. Let's just take a look at what Vortix is up to, though. Oh my god. I see Stone. He's going for a second town center. Guys, I don't know if this is a play. This is going to be hard for Vortix. This is going to delay his castle age time, and well... Ooh, I mean, if there's one civilization that's good for defending it, it is the English. So getting a second town center, we shall see where he puts that down. Maybe on the wood and the gold, perhaps, possibly. He needs to keep his economy solid and close by, I feel. Yeah, it's going to be on the wood and the gold. I don't know how I feel about this, because, of course, the English can get a free town center in the King's Palace when they get to the castle age. And, yeah, the castle age is going to be incredibly delayed here for Vortix. Puppypaw, on the other hand, got a decent amount of army. He's pushing forward, and the reason why I'm not sure I like this second town center play is because it means that Vortix won't be able to invest in army. Not in the Feudal Age, and it's going to give up map control. As you can see, army coming out here for Puppypaw. Going to be building some palisades around the sacred sites. He's going to be having access to that center sacred site. He's probably going to have access to the western sacred site as well, and that's going to be 300 gold per minute. That's almost sort of 7, 8 villages worth. And so having all the upgrades for free, 7, 8 villages extra because of the sacred sites, saving over 300 wood because of these garrisoning of the scholars. You see the Feudal Age incredibly strong with the Delhi. There it is, sacred site being picked up here, both at the same time on the west. Horseman and archer protecting that left side. And the scholar garrisoning inside the set, or almost will be activating the central sacred site. Archers walling in around. Army is starting to move forward for Vortix, but doesn't really have the army he needs, not the numbers anyway. There's a second town center's up. That's the issue. Vortix can't commit to Feudal Age army. Not quickly anyway. Take quite a while for those second town centers to pay back, but Puppypaw getting quite a few hits on the horseman, does lose one. Central sacred site is secure. Ooh, looks like it was a bit of a attempted snipe there on the left side, but holy moly, that sacred site gets taken as well. Puppypaw can even afford to take villages off of gold if he wants to, but may opt for a fast castle. It might be indeed, because the food count looking healthy for him, and if he does get to the fast castle, he could go up with the House of Learning, get honed planes, go for man-at-arms play. That would be huge. Now technically the English do have better man-at-arms, but the issue is that, well, the second town centre for Vortix means the castle age is not going to be on the cards for a very long time. That will give Puppypaw the chance to build up those man-at-arms numbers very, very fast, and you can see he's getting a lot of economy on food and gold, and so it'd be very nicely set up to do so. Going for knights is not really the option for the Delhi Sultan when he does get into the castle age. The reason being is that he already knows there are spearmen on the field, and even though these are feudal age spearmen, they can still do a good job against castle age knights. And so I suspect we will be seeing a barracks being put down. We already have one out. I mean, this can be 2 barracks worth, and it's going to get another barracks down anyway. Going up with the House of Learning, the game is very easily readable at this stage because the Sid matchup is just one in which you can tell how the game is going to turn out. Here on base, and then the issue is that Vortix is going to struggle. Vortix is absolutely nowhere near that castle age. He's going to need to have some static defenses. I don't think he's going to have scouted that out. He's going to go for deer, probably at a bad time here, because he's about to be pressured. As you can see, Delhi Sultan are getting double broadaxe for free. Vortix hasn't been able to afford it yet. Village count 36 for Puppypaw, 40 for Vortix. He does have 2 town centers, but again, there's a lot of invested resources into that. It will take time for it to pay itself back off. He's going to try and decap the central sacred site. Puppypaw won't mind that at all. He doesn't need to rush into anything. He does have that age up now, and we can see suspect man-at-arms. Just waiting. I'm expecting to see man-at-arms. Upgrades not queued up here. Yeah, it's a bit surprising. Okay, we see the eco upgrades being researched. As you can see, fertilization, lumber preservation, and the gold mine. Oh, the gold mining. Forgot about the gold mining one. Not queued up the house. Okay, now it's queued up the House of Learning ones, and it's getting man-at-arms. You can see the player already getting an outpost in the forward berry position. It can look to be aggressive, picking up the relics as well. This is such a big deal. Picking up those relics is going to be huge if the game goes any distance mid to late game. Now Vortix having a farming transition is very open. Scholar being pulled away. Well, this is very good. Puppypaw just debating the army. Spearman going to chase down this scholar. Look at this play here for Puppypaw. 2 scholars here picking up the relics. Be safe and secure in that way. He's going to pick up a longbowman here as well. Nice play there. We do see a lancer though. It's going to be man-at-arms lancers as the play. Man-at-arms will be able to build up that wall as well. So that's a re-wall there. 1 relic has been deposited as well. So it's going to be triple barracks production, man-at-arms, and a stable. Double blacksmith is getting the upgrades for free as well. This is why the Delhi is so strong. Archer's getting good value though. The longbow's getting good value. Does sniper lancer. Left side sacred site was decapped, but he's going to capture that again. Being sent out on the right berry patch. You'll spot that. Army in the center here for Vortix. As you can see, relics being brought in thick and fast. We'll have 3 in the bank. Spearman getting some value here on the villagers. Puppypaw hasn't realised we'll lose 1 at least. The villagers probably could just fight this off. But I suspect he might lose 1. Oh, the Spearman is actually going on to another villager now. She survives for a bit longer. Archers looking to just snipe. See what they can find. Vortix looking to get the cancellation. I suspect Vortix should go for the tower. Well, it's not Governor, it's the White Tower, isn't it? Yeah. It's the White Tower, and it's because he can't afford to keep 3 town centers producing. That's for sure. Puppypaw 43 villages versus 57, so the economy is looking strong for Vortix, but take a look at this. The army's starting to build up. Man-at-arms. These man-at-arms will not worry about the White Tower. These guys are tanky, especially because he's getting the upgrades. Doesn't have wedge rivets though. He will want that next. Bit surprised that he didn't get that. It's getting the fitted leatherwork first. Will be coming in any case. And I think if you're Puppypaw, he'll want to deny this White Tower, but he can't. He's going to head straight in. And we've talked about it before. When you age up, that is what? What is it, chat? It is when you're most vulnerable. And that is exactly the case. He's going to dive in. Puppypaw going to idle a lot of economy. He's going to go straight through. We'll lose a couple of horsemen and lancers and whatnot, but the man-at-arms will be very tanky. Spearman heading through, and if Vortix can take care of the army, this feudal age army won't be able to transition into castle age army, which is exactly what Vortix will want to do. As you can see, Vortix is getting the veterancy to the longbowmen, but the man-at-arms can snipe those out. That'll be huge losses in terms of military. Town centers and White Tower will be doing a good decent amount of damage, so Puppypaw won't be without losses. Does have 5 scholars healing up, taking a good fight, and I think if Puppypaw, he doesn't mind losing this army. He just wants to fight. Wants to take as many villagers. He's idling a heck of a lot of farming economy, and that is the real deal here. Killing villagers. Let's take a look at the village count. 53 for Vortix, 47 for Puppypaw. You can see the second town center doesn't really help that much, and it's such a huge investment. That delayed castle age time meant that Puppypaw was able to get relics in. 2 already. I'm pretty sure he had more. Yeah, there we are. He's got 5 relics. Holy smokes, guys. That's ridiculous. He's got all 5 relics, and that is such a huge problem. That's 500 gold per minute. And he's got one of the sacred sites already on the west side. Might be even looking to get some of the center sacred site. Does have a scholar there. Man-at-arms grouping up again. And Vortix does live to fight another day. Getting a monastery of his own, but I don't really know why. Maybe looking to try and get the sacred site, actually. That's probably the only reason why. That's all he can do. Does have palisades on the right side of the base, though, protecting himself. If you're Vortix, you kind of need to see yourself through the hyper late game, but look at the man-at-arms. They're starting to build up here. And that's for Puppypaw. A bit surprised that Vortix is continuing to produce longbowmen. He kind of needs to transition into crossbows. Doesn't have the wood for the production building. Still only having the council hall as the only production building. Does have the White Tower that can produce units, though. Going for some lancers. This is such a bad position for Vortix. Does have the villager lead, but that only tells half the story. Don't forget all the eco upgrades. Doesn't even have double broadaxe. But of course, Puppypaw the Delhi that has all the upgrades he could want. And Honed Blades is now in, so these man-at-arms are going to be incredibly strong. Second sacred site, the middle one, has been taken now. And Vortix is on a timer. He needs to really delay the game somehow. I'm not entirely sure. He won't be able to do it with longbows, that's for sure. He needs crossbows, but he's not taking into it. Might be misreading the game here. He did see the man-at-arms play, so I'm a bit surprised he's not taking into it. Yeah, Vortix just struggling on the wood at this point. Lancers, 4 of them going forward for Puppypaw, looking just to see what he can find, what intel, what reconnaissance, what scouting can they get. He'll just see longbows, and he'll be very happy to see that because, well, guess what? He's got man-at-arms. These aren't regular man-at-arms, these are honed blade man-at-arms as well. Actually, in fact, I'm not entirely sure which man-at-arms would be better. With honed blades, that's a different beast compared to the armoured clad of the English. And now you can see the tower elephants popping out. These are going to be hard to stop. Scholars in behind as well. People building up a strong military on the front lines. Looks like it's going to be longbows, spears for Vortix. Right side of stakes will be taken by Vortix. Bit of gold there. You can see tower elephants coming out. That's the third one. Looks like a barracks going down. Maybe for some more spearmen, maybe for man-at-arms. We'll need to see that. What happens there for Vortix. He is getting man-at-arms upgrades, so it will be man-at-arms the play here. Man-at-arms longbow. Look at the army. Start to develop for Puppypaw. 42 for Vortix. 39 for Puppypaw, but don't forget, these guys are high-value goods. Tower elephants. Get the feeling there aren't enough spearmen to deal with that. 18 minutes on the clock, you get the feeling everything's building up. A mangonel on the field, holy smokes. Vortix needs to scout that because he's going to need some springalds. Puppypaw just biding his time. We'll have enough stone for a keep here. Might actually save up and get a keep forward. Let's see how he plays this one out. Let's have a siege workshop. Double stable forward. Getting a trebuchet. 72 villagers for Vortix, 55 for Puppypaw. Village elite is really starting to build up, but it will need some more time for that to really translate into military. Couple of knights. Couple of lancers there for Puppypaw. Gonna snipe that knight for Vortix. Here comes the forward push, ladies and gentlemen. Gonna deny that wood line. That's a key issue because Vortix only has really 2 wood lines on this map on Basin. Both are forward, which is really bad for him. This keep goes up, that wood line will be denied. Does have a wood line here, could maybe look towards going to, but Vortix is going to struggle here. Mangonel does deploy, spread formation is on the play for Vortix, but Scholars in behind going to protect and defend and repair and heal those man-at-arms. The man-at-arms take the engagement. The man-at-arms counters everything here, counters the longbows, counters the spears. Spears looking to do some damage on the tower elephants, but guess what's healing them? Scholars. Vortix pegged back even further and further. Mangonel might need to back up and get some fights here. Get into the fight and action. Longbows trying to snipe down the tower elephants. Actually sniping down their scholars. Quite a few scholars do go down. That's rather significant. Only 6 villagers being brought for the keep. This is looking to be a problem because now the trebuchet is starting to fire off on the white tower. More trebuchets following in behind. There's a Mangonel as well. Tower elephants, you name it. 3 trebuchets, things looking in dire straits for Vortix. No springles on the field. He's getting his own trebuchet because he needs to take care of the keep. This is looking bad. Where does he go for the wood? Vortix has 12 villagers on wood apparently. Not entirely sure where. Okay, he's going to go for the back wood line here. But look at this army for the Delhi Sultanate. Go for forward barracks as well. Man-at-arms, Mangonels, tower elephants. Going for the berries, the map control allows it. If the game does go a bit longer, which I suspect it won't, with the amount of military being produced, Puppypaw could invest in village fortresses. When I say invest, it's completely free, so I could just click on it. Tower elephants healing up. Trebuchets getting off on that white tower. White tower will be going down. The 2 trebuchets firing at it. Village is being pulled to repair, but that's wood that Vortix will be losing because of that. Is already struggling for wood. Doesn't have enough wood to repair. The trebuchets getting so much value here, and this is looking bad for Vortix. You just get the feeling it's going to be a big push. Once the white tower does go down, the army are going to head straight through. There's Mangonel, Scholars, Man-at-Arms, Tower Elephants, 2 trebuchets. The white tower will be going down very soon. There's that second volley. Vortix doesn't have enough wood to repair. That's going to be an issue. Just poking and prodding. That white tower now is on fire and is struggling to repair this Vortex. Doesn't have the wood to do so. And with that going down, you get the feeling that Puppypaw is going to head straight in with those tower elephants, 2 trebuchets, 3 trebuchets, 3 mangonels, lancers, man-at-arms, scholars. Puppypaw looking to seal the deal. We talked about it. The feudal age so strong, and that's fed into a strong castle age. For the Delhi Sultanate today on base in against the English, and now that landmark does go down for Vortex. He's going to struggle. That second town centre is not going to be able to save him now. He does have a lot of army though. It's going to be one big battle. You get the feeling it's going to be a big fight here. A couple of man-at-arms. This is actually very nice by Vortex, flanking around with some man-at-arms on the left side. On the stealth forest, looking to try and take down those mangonels. The spearmen engage against the lancers. But Puppypaw is wise to the ruse. He brings back his man-at-arms, tries to surround his mangonel so they can still stay alive. One mangonel goes down, maybe a second. A second does go down. Will the third go down as well? If it does, that is actually pretty big for Vortex, not going to lie. Now the spears, are they going to be able to take down the trebuchet? There's actually a decent engagement, but with the spearman going down, he's fighting underneath the keep. That is a big problem. This is an engagement that Puppypaw won't mind too much now. He's got man-at-arms versus the spears. The spears are all down. It's just longbows. The longbows won't be able to do too much damage to the man-at-arms. These guys get tickled. Does have the attack speed buffed by the network of castles. There's no network of citadels because he doesn't have a keep of his own here, Vortex. Doesn't have the stone to do so. There's a forward keep coming for Puppypaw. That's going to solidify his position. And he taps out Vortex. He knows his beat. Puppypaw wins the match. We kind of thought it might be that way with the civilization matchup, Delhi versus English. But Puppypaw is your champion for this August weekly. What a fantastic set. I hope you guys enjoyed this casted set. And if you did, do give the video a thumbs up. I'm really looking forward to next week because next week will be the August monthlies. And we will be having 2 more qualifiers for the main event, the Redbull Wololo Legacy. I hope you guys enjoy this. Take care and see you next time.